Let's return to that story. The first day, muted day of trade for India's third largest non-bank lender. And for more, we have Rebecca Bundhun. She's covering this story live for CNA. Rebecca, India's third largest non-bank lender, not a great day of first day trade. Tata Capital seeing a volatile start, but ending the day up just 1.4%. What's the reason for this?
Yes, that's right. And it was something that was expected. Analysts had been saying that this might be a bit subdued after last week. We saw a couple of sluggish days with the IPO, and then it only really picked up on the last day. And it ended up being 2 times oversubscribed, but still there didn't seem to be huge enthusiasm today at all. It was up more than 1% on the IPO price, that listing price, but then once that listing price came in, it ended the day actually fairly flat. But analysts are saying that they still see it as a positive company in terms of the long-term investment opportunity. A lot of brokerages are still recommending the stock as a long-term buy, and they're saying that's because Tata Capital, does have this huge network of branches across the country. There are opportunities there in terms of lending. Tata Capital today said it plans to double its loan book over the next 3 years. There are also, of course, challenges as well, including competition. We have to remember that Tata Capital is part of the Tata Group, which is one of India's largest conglomerates. So a lot of people are still optimistic in some ways, although this certainly was disappointing for many investors and for many people, given the fact that this is the largest IPO that we've seen so far this year in India, and there had been some hopes among some that it might do a bit better on the first day, but still there seems to be some optimism that in the longer term it's still a stable company and there's still a potential growth story there.
So, Rebecca, the stress on longer-term value, because some saying, as we suggested as well, perhaps this listing overshadowed by LG Electronics starting to trade tomorrow. Is there enough interest in investors to expand on 2 such large IPOs?
Well, it'll be really interesting to see what happens when LG Electronics launches on the stock markets after its IPO last week at the same time as Tata Capital. And that was actually a factor that perhaps took some liquidity away from Tata Capital, analysts are saying, but there seemed to be much more enthusiasm around LG Electronics. Some analysts are saying that perhaps it was favoured because actually we saw its IPO being 54 times oversubscribed. In fact, it was subscribed in a matter of hours after its launch. So we'll have to now see, is that reflected when it actually hits the market tomorrow? But experts are also saying that despite this sort of tepid demand today for Tata Capital, it's still really reflective of a positive trend in the broader IPO market in India. The fact that we're now seeing companies like Tata Capital, LG Electronics, going to the markets, raising this money to expand in India as they look at the economic growth story, the potential that's there to actually expand in the country, which they see as a positive. After earlier in the year, companies were holding off on these listings because they were concerned about the geopolitical situation, about Trump's tariffs and so on. But now we're seeing this pickup in this demand for IPOs, and there's still some optimism that we might see a few more big ticket listings coming through later this year too.
Thanks. Rebecca Bundhun there, live from Mumbai, covering this story for CNA.